1 point, 6 shattered records, 91-90. On a Tuesday night in Indianapolis, Caitlin Clark authored one of the most spellbinding performances the WNBA has ever witnessed, yet walked off the court empty-handed. Tonight, we're unpacking the chaos, the controversy, and the history that unfolded in the Fever's gut-wrenching loss to the Atlanta Dream, and why this setback might be the spark that lights a dynasty.
I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged. And
buckle up, Fever fans, because Heartbreak has rarely looked so promising. Just 5 minutes in, Indiana trailed by double digits. Atlanta's guards sprinted out in transition, burying threes while Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones bulldozed the paint. The Fever were flat. No legs in their closeouts, no bite in their hedges. And the deficit ballooned to 31-18 by quarter's end. On the sideline, head coach Stephanie White's jaw was clenched tight. She'd spent training camp preaching "start fast." Instead, her team sputtered in reverse. Yet if Clark has proved anything in her brief pro career, it's that she turns deficits into invitations. The very next possession, she curled off a Boston screen, rose from the logo, and detonated a 29-footer that sucked the air out of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Game on. Momentum, however, met its first roadblock in stripes. 2 challenges burned before halftime, both on out-of-bounds calls that replays showed should have favored Indiana. The reviews dragged on for nearly 3 minutes apiece, turning a track meet into molasses. Fans booed, players paced. Clark shook her head in disbelief.
Yeah, to me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it. It's early in the year. The refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call. I get it. There's things to look at. There's the clock. There's is the ball going to be taken out. But that's not the only reason the flow of the game was ruined. But we're just standing there. We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And then obviously, like I said, a lot of free throws shot between both teams tonight. That makes the game more choppy when there's a lot of fouls.
And it only got wilder. Drives where she absorbed body blows produced shrugs from the officials, while touch fouls at the other end sent Dream players parading to the stripe. 32 free throw attempts in all. When Connor McCaffrey, Clark's boyfriend, fired off the now viral tweet, "Good to see the W refs in mid-season form," thousands of retweets echoed the sentiment. The game felt less like 2 teams and more like 3. Somehow, amid the whistles, Indiana's defense rediscovered its spine. They held Atlanta to 13 second-quarter points by switching everything on the perimeter and crowding passing lanes. Lexi Hull flew around like she had helium in her shoes, forcing 2 shot clock violations. The Fever closed the half on a 14-2 burst, and suddenly the deficit was 3. The crowd roared. Clark pumped her fist. The comeback blueprint was in place. Defend, rebound, run. But it wasn't just a run. It was a record rewrite. Clark's 11th assist, a bullet pass through 2 defenders to a rolling Aaliyah Boston, tied her with Courtney Vandersloot for most 20-point 10-assist games in league history. Vandersloot needed 394 games. Clark needed 42. 2 minutes later, a left-wing 3 gave her 350 career dimes, fastest in WNBA annals. By night's end, she'd also log fastest to 800 points. Only 3 players did it quicker. First player ever to open a season with back-to-back 20-10 games. 6th, 25-plus points, 10-plus assists. Outing, snapping Sabrina Ionescu's record. History was bending to her will, even as the scoreboard refused to budge. Atlanta adjusted, trapping Clark 30 feet out and daring others to beat them. Kelsey Mitchell answered with a barrage. Pull-up jumpers, baseline fades, a daring Eurostep and one that sent Jones sprawling. Still, Atlanta's response was thunderous. 5 straight possessions to Jones on the block, 5 straight buckets. The Dream tallied 32 in the frame. Every time Indiana inched close, Ryan Howard drilled a corner triple to shove them back. Coach White later admitted, "We played defense like 5 individuals instead of a unit."
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. You know, Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come back.
She wasn't wrong. Rotations were a step late. Help assignments felt like suggestions. Growing pains, sure, but costly ones. Here's the cruel math. Indiana missed 10 free throws in a 1-point game, 4 by Natasha Howard in the 4th alone. Boston bricked a pair with 2:05 remaining. Each clang felt heavier than the last. Clark hit 5 threes, Mitchell poured in 24. Boston battled for 24 and 10, yet those 10 unguarded 15-footers loomed larger than any deep bomb. Afterwards, Howard was blunt. As pros, we have to cash those in. Period. No excuses, just ownership. 9.7 seconds left, Indiana down 1, sideline out of bounds. The design? Clark as decoy, Boston the primary look on a slip toward the rim. Atlanta read it perfectly, blanketing Boston. Plan B, Clark hits Natasha Howard popping to the elbow. Howard takes one dribble, elevates. Nia Coffey explodes from the weak side for a clean block. Howard claws her own rebound, regathers, flicks a lefty push shot, short. Buzzer. Bedlam. Clark doubled over at midcourt, hands on knees, the roar of 15,000 feverish fans fading into stunned silence. A masterpiece, erased by a single possession.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, you know, I think this is great for her team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. You know, we have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, you know, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
At the podium, Clark's eyes were glassy but resolute. I'm proud of our fight. We never gave up. But the league doesn't hand out banners for almost. We have to own the details. Free throws, rotations, execution. Coach White echoed her star but pointed a finger inward, too. I probably should have subbed a little more that second half. We rode the hot group, but maybe they gassed out. That's on me.
They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. I mean, we still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but, you know, it's just a little things.
The accountability was refreshing. Losing didn't send them to the excuse factory. It steered them toward the film room. Think big picture. The Fever's core, Clark, Boston, Mitchell, is 26 or younger. They haven't logged 50 games together, yet already boast an offense pushing top 5 efficiency. The fixables, charity stripe nerves, late clock communication, pace after whistles, are chemistry issues, not talent gaps. Remember 2016? The Warriors blew a 3-1 finals lead, swallowed the pain, and returned to launch a dynasty. Adversity, bite-sized, can become fuel. For Indiana, Tuesday's Heartbreak is the vitamin shot. Proof they can trade haymakers with playoff teams. Evidence that perfection, not potential, will decide games. Schedule. A return trip to Atlanta in 48 hours. Redemption on tap. Lineup tweaks. Expect White to stagger Clark and Mitchell to preserve creation late, while integrating DeWanna Bonner in shorter bursts to balance defensive size. Practice priorities. Free throw pressure drills. Shell defense reps emphasizing early help and late-game situational scrimmages with a running clock. Health watch. Sophie Cunningham's ankle is progressing. Her shooting unlocks 4 outsets that unclutter Boston's space. If they convert even 70% at the line and cut 7 of Atlanta's 46 paint points, Thursday's thriller flips. Franchises study tape. They saw Clark slice full-court traps with quarterback precision, drop-splitting hedges, lasering skip passes. They also saw Indiana's Achilles heel. Physical switch. Everything defenses that muck rhythm. Expect opponents to replicate Atlanta's blueprint. Harass Clark 94 feet, make others initiate, live with tough twos. Indiana's counter? Sharpen passing angles, quick hit horns, sets featuring Clark as screener, and a second side action for Mitchell. Tactical evolution will dictate whether the Fever stay a league pass darling or graduate to finals contender.
AB was outstanding. She battled, for what, 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are two of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow from it.
Let's zoom out. 42 games into her career, Clark already owns or shares 9 statistical records. Each milestone used to take legends half a decade, she's compressing time. But trophies, not ticks in a record column, anchor legacies. Diana Taurasi's greatness isn't just points, it's rings. Maya Moore's isn't just win shares, it's 4 titles. Clark knows this. Thursday's sting engraves that truth deeper. As Sue Bird told a reporter last week, records are cool. Championships feed the soul. If Clark's trajectory stays true, she may dine like few before her. So, Fever faithful, here's your homework. 1. Sound off in the comments what single adjustment flips this loss. 2. Subscribe because this journey is accelerating and you'll want a front row seat. 3. Share the video with every hoops junkie who still thinks the W doesn't deliver drama, because Tuesday was basketball theater at its finest. 1 point short, 6 records tall, and an entire league put on notice. Tuesday's Heartbreak may become the prologue to a headline we read in September. Indiana Fever, 2025 WNBA champions. The future isn't just bright. The future is Fever.